too. Knows about the grind. Yeah, bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. .103, welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, as we're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios in the west side of the city. How you doing out there? Are you happy? Back-to-back OT wins for the good old Oilers. We'll get to all that, of course. Fun show on tap. It seemed like a really fun two guys and a goalie show as well with your buddy, former teammate. Is he from the factory?
No, he's not from the factory. He's... you could see, he played in Saskatoon and in Tri-Cities, so
okay.
Rivals.
Like always, hit us up on the EST YouTube channel. Slam that thumbs up. We've been hitting 100 consistently. Why stop now? So hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so. If you're listening, iHeart, TuneIn, radio apps, as well as Edmonton Sports Talk, and hit us up on the Nasty Chat and text us on the River Cree inbox 780-218-9999 and a little late on air.
It's all right.
That's a joke. It's a bad joke. But
everyone's late today, it seems like. Hey-o.
Oh, boy. Dusty's a man of many talents now. I was pretty impressed with him.
I was really impressed. Yeah.
I like when they started. Because the saturation of the wasn't good.
Yeah.
And Lieutenant Eric's like, we don't have jaundice.
That's good.
And then at the end, when they do like, what did you learn today? And Lieutenant Eric goes, I learned I'm pretty useless. Oh man,
that's good.
Oh, that was a fun show. It was good times. I saw Dusty make mac and cheese from the Italian Center. I want to know what he put in there because according to him, it was the best thing he's ever had.
I know. Well, that's the thing. That's what he's learning, right? Yeah. Adding things to something, a staple, can make it better. There was a show I loved in Europe. It was Ainsley Harriott. He's a chef in the UK. He had a show where he'd have like chefs on, but they'd get like a bag of groceries.
Yeah.
And they'd have to pick on which one they would want, and then they would make something out of it.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing what they could do with the simplest ingredients.
It is absolutely it looked good. I haven't tried it. I think Jay had a bite there as well. But a fun show ahead. Highlights, lowlights coming up at 1:20. Your favorite segment of the week, the Red Light District with our guy Joaquin Gage at 1:40. 2:20, Brett Boyko, offensive lineman of the Edmonton Elks, will join us to talk about re-signing with the team, talk some Super Bowl. We'll get some picks from him as well. And the Raptors making some moves, some mind-boggling moves because they're in a rebuild. So we'll get to the trade deadlines today as well. So we'll talk with our guy, Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors. He's going to join us at 2:40 just to kind of touch on what the Raptors are doing and look around the good old NBA. Joaquin, I feel like I'm forgetting. Like I'm so thrown off with the new computer.
Really?
I feel like I'm forgetting stuff.
Well, you don't know how to scroll on it.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Why? You don't have a mouse too.
I got to get that.
Yeah,
I got to get
a mouse
cover for it.
You need like a stress ball too.
Yeah.
Something. Because
are you saying I'm stressed?
No, you just you like to touch things.
Because I had everything set up on my computer for the show, and then now like I can't even turn it on. So like I have to like build everything the same, and I always forget like I'm feeling something.
And it's different from a PC to a Mac too. Everything seems like it's in a different position. But once you get, I find it's a lot more user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be all right, buddy.
All right.
At least it doesn't, like, you don't have it plugged in or anything. And
no, the battery on this is amazing. Yeah. I have the charger ready to go, but the other one, I couldn't have it without the charger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would die like within 10 minutes. So
mine's it's old, but mine's perfect. If I forget my charger and we're just doing this show, it'll last. But there was someone in the office, so I couldn't grab it.
Good times. It's been a great week on EST. All the shows, everybody's really, really tuning in now. We got to bump those download numbers up. So go to EST on Apple or Spotify or the Amazon and just follow us. And all it does is push our content to the top of your feed. And we'd greatly appreciate that. 23 thumbs up, 8 minutes in. We keep that pace. We'll be well over 100. Joaquin, last night, interesting game. I thought it was kind of like, it got good there in the third. The Oilers looked like a tired team that were just wanted to get the hell out of there, come home for some home cooking. What'd you make of the Oilers' second straight OT win?
They benefited on the strength of their goaltending again, I think.
Sure.
Calvin Pickard was awesome, made some huge saves. That one on Maroon late. You had a rested Chicago Blackhawks team they hadn't played in 3 days. They're playing against the Oilers. I know I was giving Connor Bedard kind of a hard time yesterday.
He was good.
He looked good,
yeah.
And he looked really, really good. But they're just they show some sparks there, but still just a little bit behind in certain areas. The Oilers. They did look tired, like once the Blackhawks, again, and this is hard for every team, but especially when you're tired, their forecheck was relentless. Like even when they couldn't, they were back pressure, getting on the puck early, forcing turnovers in the offensive zone, and causing huge scrambles for the Oilers. So kudos to the Chicago Blackhawks. I think I did say yesterday it was going to be 4-3. Did I not?
Might have, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did. I said it was going to be a close game. Like the beauty of the NHL is there is so much parity, right? And if you don't bring it each and every night, you're probably not going to have a lot of success. Now, saying that, and I think we said this last week. I think this is beneficial to be playing these games, and I know a lot of Oilers fans are going, "It's the Chicago Blackhawks. How are they not blowing this team out of the water?" You're not going to do that if you're the Oilers. One of the main reasons that's not going to happen is because they're getting the best of every other team. Look, when you're playing in a league, especially a professional league, you know where certain teams sit in the standings, what they've done in the past, what the personnel is. You can look at that Oilers line and go, if we don't bring it, they are going to embarrass us. So every team gives it their best shot, and you still have the Oilers coming out on top. And that's learning to win. Winning by 5-6 goals, whatever, that does nothing for your team. You don't learn from those games. It's almost you're playing not to create bad habits. By playing these tight games, you're learning what it takes, and then you're becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that's what the NHL playoffs is all about. So not unlike what we're going to see with the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend, where I think they're going to roll because they're used to playing in I don't think they blew out a team all year. Right, all their games were quite close, like coming down to the last few minutes of a game. That's a championship team.
Yeah, it was. I thought the power play in regular time looked awful. Too much standing around. Connor McDavid circling, always looking for McDavid. And if you noticed, the last two power plays in the before overtime, they came off after a minute, and then the second power play went on because I think it wasn't even the coach calling though. I think they were frustrated and tired and saying like, we can't get this going. The PK now is giving up 4 straight goals, so you got to get a little bit sharper there. The special team's kind of on a little bit of a lull right now for the Edmonton Oilers. The positive. Jeff Skinner scores an absolute beauty. Arvidsson gets a goal. Both guys in the top 6. I think that's such a positive thing that's going to happen for the Edmonton Oilers if these two guys can get going. Like you said, Pickard was good, 906 save percentage, made a big save in the third when it was 3-3. And then up next, Colorado Avalanche tomorrow, who just got shut out in Vancouver. They're going to be a feisty bunch. That's going to be a fun game. That's the last game before the 2-week Four Nations break. So it's going to be interesting times. But yeah, the Oilers, they won. There wasn't as many angry fans yesterday after a win. No. A lot of people were pretty happy and content. And listen, everybody always looked at the Blackhawks and like, they're crap. The Oilers should win 6-2. But there's a lot of pride there. And they had a lot of good young players. And like you said, I thought Bedard was all over it yesterday. He was, man. Yeah. He looked quite good.
it'll be. It's just, and that Donato's good too. Like that's a good little tandem right there. They play off each other well. Yeah, they're in need of a few more pieces. Hopefully for their Blackhawks fans and for Murray McCourt sooner rather than later. But no, I was impressed with Bedard last night because I've watched him in a few other games and he seemed almost invisible. I think a little bit more juice going up against Connor McDavid, right?
Yeah.
But he stripped him of the puck one time. The one time I noticed though, and I think it was in the first period where he kind of gave the puck up to Connor, and they got in kind of a foot race. There was no, he's not even close. I thought that okay, here's a foot race. Bedard getting back. Connor was pulling away from him. It was crazy.
Their goalie was good too. He made
Soderblom?
3 outstanding saves. He robbed Skinner on a backdoor feed. I thought he was really good on the
Really
night.
good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
But like Tabs told us yesterday, this team struggles getting the puck out of their zone, and a few times they look like the old Oilers, where it's like off the glass wasn't working, then the rim it wasn't working, and then they were kind of all over the place. I felt kind of bad for them at certain points in that game because they just couldn't move that puck out of their zone.
Well, even the Oilers at certain points, right on the tying goal, I believe it was, there was a few chances to get it out, you know, and a reset button. And look, I love it when you're trying to make a play, like that's what you want to do first. You're looking to do that, but you also have to realize the situation, how long you've been out there. You know, you're getting tired.
Yeah,
just fire it off the glass. If you don't look for something if it's not there, or wait for something to read the situation of the game and reset from there. Because there were a few instances in that third period where the puck got turned over and it was a fire drill.
Yeah, it's hey, if they go into the break 3-0 this week, I think that's huge for them.
You know, watching last night's game too, I mean, I think he might be a little bit fatigued, obviously, but McDavid looked really tired.
He did,
me.
and he looked like he's just had it. Like, I need a break here, and he's not getting one because he's going to the formation.
I told you, I think we should get old Jeff Gillooly and give Connor a little tap on the knee, not too hard, but something that'll keep him out for the next few weeks so he can get some rest and recovery back. I don't know what's
Cabo for Nations.
Yeah.
I know what I'd select.
I mean. Because I don't know. I feel like, and it's not like he's playing bad or whatever, but I mean, I'm comparing him to Leon Draisaitl. And to me, Leon Draisaitl is playing way better than Connor McDavid. Not only just last night, but overall. I'd say over the past month and a half, Leon's been the Oilers' best player by far.
It's not even.
And it's not, and I'm not saying Connor's bad. But Leon is just way better. Like that line a few times, I loved the look of it. Skinner seemed to be a good complementary player. And I think that's what the Oilers coaching staff are looking for. Because turnovers, you're not always going to get Leon back checking like a bat out of hell, right? Like it's just, that's not what he saves his energy for. But Podkolzin and Skinner, you see them providing back pressure.
Yeah.
And his ability to read off Leon a few times there, it seemed like they had a little bit more chemistry. Because that goal, that's a very highly skilled goal to score with Jeff Skinner. That was an unbelievable pass, but great finish.
We're going to get to that in highlights, lowlights. It was just great plays all around. And Jeff Skinner showing why you just don't give up on him and send him away.
And Arvidsson too, man.
Arvidsson too, yeah. It was a simple shot on net. Probably you want Soderblom to have that one.
If that's on Skinner, it's a bad goal. But, I mean, I hate those goals. I think a goalie shouldn't give those up. Short side like that, especially Soderblom. He looks like he's like 6'8" in there. It should hit you.
But what's the it was if Skinner was in that game last night, he would have got torched on the nasty chat because how do you let 3 goals in? And it's fair. Sorry, but if you're a Skinner hater, you would have said that. So yeah, what's his name? Pickard made some good saves,
great saves,
but so did Skinner the game before.
I know.
Yeah,
they both providing the team a chance to win. That's
And more importantly, Gage, now they have a 4-point cushion on Vegas in the same amount of games. Like this is
that was a big game, man. That was really big to get a little bit more of a buffer, and because Vegas is kind of faltering, right? I think this break is perfect for a lot of reasons, and get some juice back in the tank. But I think it benefits the Oilers a lot this time around.
This is a good point by, he's got a big name, YYCN. I'll just leave it at that. I have a hunch McDavid was or is more sick than people realize. Because he was
Could
sick.
be, yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't maybe 100%.
Yeah, he was a little dogged.
Yeah, he looked a little down on himself there. But in the other, Vegas has only won 2 of their last 10. Like, this is the Oilers' division to win. We were talking about it last night as well, where you're either going to get Calgary, Vancouver, or Minnesota, Colorado. Potentially Dallas. That's a tough wild card to play, right? But there's no freebies here in the playoffs. The Oilers are a Stanley Cup contender. Whoever's in front of them, they got to go out and beat.
Yeah, really looking at all these teams, all you want to do is get there. Obviously, in the Oilers' case, I think just from what we saw last season, this team could really benefit by finishing first in the Pacific and getting that home ice. Trying to get home ice throughout would be because, a lot of people say this. I don't know if I put too much stock in it. Do you think if Game 7 is back here in Edmonton, the Oilers win the Stanley Cup?
I do.
Why?
I just think the vibe of the crowd, the buzz, I just think they feed off that. I think it's easier for the home team to get jacked up and go like that. I mean, it's a big what if, sure, but I think the Oilers have I think Game 7 at home is an advantage. I truly do, especially in a championship series. So we got to get to a break, but coming up next, we will get to highlights, lowlights. I'm going to ask Gager about something that bothers him regarding the Edmonton Oilers. It's going to be a fun conversation. The River Cree Inbox, of course, is always presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Up next, highlights, lowlights from last night's game where you saw the Oilers pick up a 4-3 OT win over Chicago. That's all coming up next here on EST Afternoons. Keep hammering that thumbs up. And here's Coob with your sports update.
There's 9 games in the NHL with Seattle hosting Toronto, Devils and Golden Knights dropping the puck while Carolina plays Minnesota. Meanwhile, defensive lineman Sean Lemon has been suspended 2 games by the CFL for violating the league's drug policy, marking his second suspension he's received by the league, with Lemon serving an indefinite suspension currently for betting on CFL games. And in the NBA, Toronto's Davian Mitchell has been traded to the Heat in exchange for P.J. Tucker and a second-round pick. And Shams Charania from ESPN is reporting that the Hawks are trading DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs for Karis LeVert, George Niang, and 3 second-rounders. And on the court, Dallas tips off against Boston. The Magic and Nuggets throwdown, while the Warriors challenge the Lakers. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. Step into a whole new golfing experience with 240 unique courses for you to play. Plus, they have an hydraulic swing plate that automatically tees the ball up for you, with the innovative technology replicating real-life ball lies, moving the ball in 24 different directions. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Visit their website at gimmevirtualgolf.ca. We have a quick break before Gager and Hernan dive into highlights, lowlights from yesterday's game. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
.124, welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Keep hammering that thumbs up. Text us at the River Korean Box 780-218-9999 or on the nasty chat like always. Stan Pater says, the Oilers look like a team fighting a flu bug at the end of a road trip. The fact they are capable of winning games like that simply proves how good this team is now, especially defensively despite the odd, horrible breakdown. Do we know if Sid is injured? He's practicing today, so looks like he'll be good to go. And Krager says, as a person who dislikes Jeff Skinner's play style normally, I like to say how awesome it has been to watch him backcheck and outwork other players over the past few games. And the coach is noticing he got the bump to the top six. Hopefully he remains there for tomorrow's game. Now, Gager, I want to ask you, because you're pretty fired up. Actually, the last two games you've been fired up because they've been both OT winners. And you're not happy with the lack of celebration from the Edmonton Oilers, which I'm okay with, but just give us your reasoning why you don't like the lack of celebration from this team.
Well, you're dead inside and have no emotion. So it's crazy to me to not. And okay, so now there's rumors that they're a little bit under the weather.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. But you can't tell me sometimes when Connor or Leon score. Like Leon's been better this year. I'd say this is the most joy I've seen Leon Draisaitl when he scores or when he sets something up. There's a little bit more of a, you can see some happy emotion on his face. Connor, I mean, this guy's a robot, dude. He goes through that same cycle, tries to find Hyman in front, works the second time. Great goal. Hyman's happy. You know, he's looking for hugs, high fives. He's chasing Connor away. Connor's like trying to get to the dressing room as quick as possible. It looked pained. I don't like that. Especially during games, I think it's detrimental to the team. If the Oilers score on the power play and it's a great play, Connor to Leon, and I understand there's a lot of work left to do, but coming from a guy that sat on the bench a lot, there's not a lot to get hyped about. And when your team scores, you jump up and everyone's high-fiving. You go like they do the high fives down the bench. I think it's a missed opportunity to inject some enthusiasm and some juice into your team. Scoring a goal and not celebrating after, the only time that's acceptable to me is if you're up by 8 or it's an empty netter at the end of the game. That's the only time, all right? I mean, an empty netter, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, celebrate all you want, whatever. You can celebrate then, but man, I don't get it. I don't know why you like this.
Well, this is my counter. It's I think the team is a little bit fighting a flu bug. Who knows? It's a game in February, the dead of winter. They're on the road. They're not playing their best. But I also look at it as a positive, Joaquin, because I look at it as it's a mature team. Like I don't want them jumping into the glass, scoring the OT winner. And I get what you're saying, sure, a little, but I just think they're all business right now. Like, yeah, we won, okay. It wasn't our best game. We gave up a 2-goal lead in the last 8 minutes. We scored on the power play. Let's go home. I don't mind that. I think it's a very mature look on this team that they don't need to celebrate every goal like it's their last, right? So, but I get what you're saying. A little enthusiasm goes a long way, but I think this team going all the way last year and so many big goals and so many big moments that right now they're just focused. Let's finish first. Let's get into the playoffs, and then we can celebrate all we want. But I don't mind it. What do our nasties think? Are you Team Gage or Team Hernan? Are you okay with him not celebrating as hard as you know as a big goal would come, I guess, or are you with Team Gager that you need them to celebrate?
I can say this. It's weird, but when guys would score on me, which there were a lot, and wouldn't celebrate, I was mad at them.
Okay.
I didn't like it because they would give it the 50-goal man skate into the corner and go, 49, I guess. And they'd have like 2 goals on the season. They wouldn't even be like, there was that little machismo thing. Like that Connor Brown goal. I hated that. Like this guy hasn't scored in 23 games, gets the OT winner, first OT winner in the NHL. And he, again, someone just shot his dog.
Connor Brown, right? So, but could it be also, man, I haven't scored in 21 games. I'm just going to act like I've been here before and I've let my team down because I'm not producing. So I'm just going to give it one of these and, hey, thanks for the brilliant pass.
No.
Arthur says,
you score you win the game for your team, and the first thought that goes through your mind is, oh man, finally I let the team down now.
No, but I'm saying like overall, he's like, man, like I needed that one, but I'm good. Like I don't need to do this. I don't need to celebrate like it's game 7.
I mean, you're going to get emotion from, especially at home, from your fan base when you score, right? But if you celebrate a little bit more, it like when guys go into the glass and looking at fans and they're high fiving, that it gets. The energy level gets pumped up, man. Like, have you ever seen Alex Ovechkin, aside from maybe empty net goals, not celebrate a goal?
Yeah, no, that's fair. And it's contagious. I get that, but I think I'm okay with it. I truly do. Arthur says Team Hernan faux show. Mike says Gager all the way. This is not an isolated issue from last game. This goes all the way back to the start of the season. Yeah, because they're focused. They're just let's go through this regular season, do the best we can, and get into the playoffs when it really matters. It was funny yesterday. You brought up the Hyman goal in overtime because he's smiling. He skates over to Connor. Connor, you can tell, just wanted to get off the
like, Jesus. What do you like?
I'm okay with the lack of emotion right now because it's in there.
It's like Hyman had bad breath, and Connor's like, I've had enough of this guy. Like he's undoing the helmet. If he could have taken off his skates, he probably would have up there.
All right, so let us know. Do the Oilers need to celebrate harder on their goals, or are you with Team Hernan saying, hey, it's a good professional, mature approach that they're taking right now? Because you know what would drive me crazy? And I get their kids in the World Juniors when a team's up 8-1, they score the 9th one, and the players jumping into the boards, into the glass. Like that, to me, is overdoing it. But, yeah, I don't know. It's, I mean, you played the game. Does it make that much of a difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially with your own teammates.
Yeah.
Tight games like that, there's moments I think you can take advantage of. And yeah, and I understand sometimes why you're doing that, but these are game-winning goals, man. These are huge points. You just you mentioned it before. You've put a buffer between you and the Golden Knights. Like this, a massive game, last game on the road on this little mini trip, going home to play. It just, I don't know.
Is the best. Oh man, we should save this for another. But yeah, give me a second. I'm just gonna write something down so I don't forget.
I don't like it, man.
Because in soccer there's less goals, obviously. Like you can win 1-0, but every goal is celebrated like you've won the World Cup.
Yeah. And that's great.
It's beautiful, but because there's less goals, is what I'm saying. Like you can go 3 games without a goal, and it's normal.
But it's not uncommon to have a 3-2 game in the beautiful game.
Medano's teeth. Why does Hernan always try to justify stupidity? But why is that stupid though? That they're not going crazy?
Because it is. I'm not saying ride the stick here. I'm, throw
the glove in the air.
And shoot it. No, I'm not saying that. But at least give it a pumpernickel or, smile at your buddy, high five, give him a hug, a couple headbutts, whatever.
Big Uke says, I think the opponent mattered too. If that's against a rival, there's probably more, but they don't care about Chicago. They're probably pissed it went to OT. That's a good point. He does add, I do like when guys celebrate, though. Arthur says their goal is the cup, not a mid-season goal. Mike says celebrate like it's game 79 and you just clinched the division. Glenn says they've played a lot of hockey the past 3 weeks, 10 games over that period. They're exhausted. Take the 2 points and go home. Interesting. Gager's not having it.
No.
I like angry.
No, it's February. January's over. Mad Gager's back.
My buddy, the Russian Prince, says they need to show a bit more emotion as a collective team on these wins and important goals. So a lot of people on your side here, buddy. A lot of people here on your side. We'll continue the conversation. Are you okay with the lack of celebrating by the Oilers lately, or do you want them to go ham when they score a goal? Because Gager's not impressed with Hyman or McDavid's.
Hyman was okay. He was smiling. He was looking for some love. He just couldn't find any.
McDavid was like,
yeah. Everyone skated away.
All right, let's get to highlights, lowlights. Let's start with the lowlight. It's the tying goal, Gager. And again, the Oilers are, for me, one of the best teams in the league. But again, they get caught puck watching, and as soon as Coop has it up there, we'll run it through. Great finish, though. And there's a moment there that I kind of slow it down a lot more, and you can see the Oilers again. And Gager, we've seen this a lot when they get scored on and they get kind of chasing the puck around in their own end. It's not pretty. And just roll it when you can there, buddy. There we go.
I think it was Emberson, right?
So right here, look at all the Oilers.
Yeah, but it happened way before this, and I think it was Emberson that had the puck.
Yeah.
And then
Nurse gave it
back to him. Not a great pass, and then just too soft here. Like they're too much reaching. But as you can see, as we break down, every
two guys in the corner.
Every Oiler head is looking at the puck, right, and not recognizing where. I believe it's Martinez is sneaking back door there. So, but they were tired. They were running around. I think, if memory serves me correctly, I think Nurse had a chance just to, fire it up the glass. And he was trying to make a play. And I get that. But again, that was a point when you're dog tired and you just need, you sky dump that thing up in the air and reset.
Yeah, it was bad. Nurse and Emerson, both bad plays. But Colson goes to Emerson's guy. And then I can't remember who the guy in the middle was, but he's puck watching. Doesn't even see Alec Martinez come on the back end and tie the game. But the Oilers were able to pull it out. And let's go with the Skinner goal. This is just brilliance. I think it's 3 excellent plays. We can just run it when Coob is ready. Oh yeah, I didn't mute it. Sorry about that. Great pass by Klingberg. Like his passing is fantastic.
We can talk about him after, but
Cole's in here. Good play, rims it around, and then Leon Draisaitl goes to work.
Yeah, but then again, kind of the same thing. Everyone's not back quick. Skinner recognizes, finds some open ice. Leon with some great vision there. And the finish, though, getting the goalie go one way and have to come back the other, and still a lot of guys. If this isn't Jeff Skinner, I mean, there's some good players on the Oilers team, but I mean, a lot of guys would just fire that quick, right?
Yeah,
he has the presence of mind. Oh, he's coming out, going back, and then to get it up in the air too, making sure because the pad was there, he had to get it up and over. So great. Like that's That's a guy that scored a few goals in the NHL right there with that situation. Unreal. He just tucked it inside the post, too. That's a highly
a good point about going upstairs, because on the one he got robbed, he didn't get high enough, right? Yeah, he gets it a little bit higher, and that's an absolute beauty goal.
Tell me what you thought about Klingberg last night.
You know what I like about Klingberg? He's on the back end, outside of Bouchard, he's the best passer on the team. And you can tell right away. He's making bank passes. You saw that one across the ice. Like, he is an excellent, excellent passer. The foot speed, probably a little bit more work on it. But for me, Gage, I think he's been good.
I think he's been really good. And last night, I mean, I had the game on to the side and I was doing some work, and all I heard, I would hear this bang, and I was like, and I bang, and I was like, what's that sound? But it was Klingberg hitting guys on the tape, from distance, man. He's sending laser beams, guys stationary, guys, indirectly passing, hitting guys on the fly. His passing ability is elite.
Unreal. And guys like Connor and Leon are appreciating that.
If this guy can hit me, and flying, that makes it very, I'm sure you will probably see Klingberg, if it gets like a 3-on-3 situation, he's going to be the next D-man up just because of that passing ability.
He should be. He doesn't have the wheels like Darnell, but the vision and the passing is better than Darnell. And Darnell's been, that's what I was going to say. I think the D-core for the Oilers right now, the way they have it with the 6 guys, there's not a bad passer on that team.
No, if Klingberg can get, he's going to get better too, right?
Yeah.
Like I think this break is actually really good for him. Just to reevaluate everything. Okay, I'm back a little bit. Maybe there's a little bit of maintenance there. He's not a spring chicken anymore. But just to, he's dipped his toe in, as Struddy likes to say, get his beak wet a little bit with some playing time. And I'm very optimistic of his play. Like you mentioned, the foot speed, but I don't know if that's a case of just not playing for a long time or age. So there's going to be levels better. This could work out really well for the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers over the last few seasons have really done a good job of getting something for nothing.
Yeah, no, that's
they hadn't had to trade or give up picks for a lot of these guys.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And he's showing his value just in the passing right now. I'm okay with it. Before we get to break, Yod says, it asserts dominance. Love the no-selly. OG says, I'm Team Gager. Not only does the celebration get into the head of the opposition more, but giving the guys on the bench a fist pump allows the whole team to be a part of it and may get them excited. Statue Boss Productions. It seemed like they were mad that they blew the lead. At least I know I was.
You know what it does too? Like get in the head of the opposing goaltender, right? You score, you yell, scream, and you're happy. That sucks to hear.
Yeah.
Man. There's
it annoys you.
There's the psychological side of celebrating afterwards too that I think is beneficial.
And Madonna's Teeth says McDavid comes off as a bratty adult. Well, maybe he was just sick. It's getting over the flu. Then Mike says, what does Tommy G think about
Why? What did he say?
I don't know.
Jeez.
Tommy, if you're listening, Mike would like to
know
left. What you think about this.
I thought Tommy was going to stick around. He said he wanted to hang out with me. Guess not.
Arthur says, too bad the break is coming for Klingberg. Will he go down to Bakersfield? No. Highly unlikely. Yeah, and it is too bad, but he's going to get one more game in, and then he's going to get a nice reset too.
Yeah, I think this is great. I mean, tomorrow night's going to be, you'll want to have the ISO cam on Klingberg tomorrow night because the Avs are a quick team, and they established that forward check. It's elite.
It's going to be a real test.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get to a break. Coming up next, it is the Red Light District with our guy Joaquin Gage. Looking forward to what he has in store for us. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. UFC lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Don't miss UFC 312 on February 8th, live with the most TVs, killer food, drinks, and the wildest atmosphere. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house. Reminder, EST crew will be down at the Century Casino Fort Road on Sunday for the Super Bowl, Eagles Chiefs. I'm pretty sure they're sold out of tables and all that. So who's ever in, we'll see you there. It's going to be a good time. We got our fun spiel on the 15th as well, Gage. We're going to do a little bit of curling, some Four Nations action, and probably have one or two cervezas as well. Coming up next, Red Light District here on Edmonton Sports Talks, Joaquin Gage, Hernan and Salas. Here's Coob with your sports update.
The Panthers and Blues hit the ice. The Avs take on the Flames while the hockey club plays the Blue Jackets on a 9-game NHL slate. And the CFLs dropped the hammer on former Alouette Sean Lemon, suspending him for 2 games after he violated the league's drug policy for using phentermine, an appetite suppressant for weight loss. Lemon is currently serving an indefinite suspension for betting on CFL games, and if reinstated, he'll have the option to sign with any team. Meanwhile, basketball sees the Raptors making a move as they acquired Miami's PJ Tucker in exchange for Davion Mitchell. And the Heat also sent Toronto a second-round pick as well as some cash in the deal. And Shams Charania from ESPN is reporting that the Hawks are trading DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs for Karis LeVert, George Niang, and 3 second-rounders. In 6 games, the NBA slate tonight with the Kings and Trailblazers going at it. Houston on the road in Minnesota while the Pacers battle the Clippers. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care. And whether it's a one-time donation or a monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. Up next, you're on EST Afternoons, the Red Light District, with Joaquin Gage and Hernan Salas. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino.
On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino.
Excitement, bet on it.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Joaquin.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin. 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 147. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. They're just shooting Reed's video right now. Oh, if you could be
It's taken on a life of its own.
It has, sure has. It's been absolutely great. Dusty's scared to play Tecmo just because I'm on a hot streak.
Man, it's a family.
Yeah, so it's good times. Keep hitting us up on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. And on the nasty chat, as per usual, slam that thumbs up. But we're close to 50. Let's get to 60, maybe 70 by the end of this segment, as our goal is always 100 on the day. And if it's consistent, we might have to start bumping it up. I mean, the Nielsen show's getting 500.
Yeah, they're getting a lot. But usually he has to eat something nasty.
Yeah. And today, Dusty pulled double duty for the first couple of hours.
I think that's why.
He's an absolute beauty. Yeah. All right, let's get to the Red Light District, your favorite segment here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin, take it away.
So, yeah, this is we're now into February, right?
Mm-hmm.
So nice Gager's gone. There's more things that start bothering me now, especially.
Wait, positive Gager's gone?
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
Man.
He only lasts a month.
That's unfortunate.
And so, and this has been bugging me lately. And I noticed it, and I get angry while driving my car. And I understand, like, I'm not saying all of them, but, and it's personalized plates. I don't understand these things. And I don't mind if you have, there's the Oilers and the Flames ones. Those are fine. Those are good. My dad always said, never get a personalized plate. And I was like, why? He goes, well, if you're somewhere bad and something bad's happening, they're going to remember that plate because it says something stupid on it. I was like, oh, good thing. I don't know what my dad was up to, but obviously it's something not good. But I see these plates with these personalized sayings or kind of a name jotted together. And I'm like, why is this person put it so much effort into wanting everyone behind them to know who they are? I was getting mad. And then I see one that I thought was it had a little saying on there. I was like, okay, that's cool. This person's vain enough to order this plate, order it, put it on his car, wants everyone, hey, look at me. But then I go, who is this person? That was kind of funny. I get up alongside him. They got tinted windows. So I'm like, first off, you want everyone behind you to see, but now you don't want anyone to look at you, and you're vain enough to put that thing on the back of your car. Why do you have tinted windows? And then I've been driving around and I see them now all the time. Every person I see with a personalized plate has tinted windows too.
Shady.
So I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Things start bugging you as you get older, but I hate personalized plates. I think you shouldn't be able to have them anymore. And if you're that vain to have one, why tint your windows? You want everyone looking at you in the first place. It makes no sense.
So are you okay? What don't you like, when it's just a straight up name or when it's like a nickname or a saying? Like, does it all bother you?
It all bothers me now. Like, you're putting your name on your car. I don't get it. Oh, nicely done, Scarf Guy. I just, why? Why are you trying to be funny? You trying to put a few letters or numbers together? Like, or the ones I really hate is when it's, the guy's got, he's got $100,000 car or whatever, and it's like Mercedes 2, like you have, or Mercedes 5, and you have 4 more at home. Is that what that means? Like, you're being a jackass, and your windows are always tinted. So I'm just like, why? You want everyone to look at you.
All right, so not to offend anyone, but if any of our listeners
I don't care.
Our viewers, do you have, what is it, a special name on your plate? And we just want to know why. Like, what was the reason? Is it the name of your partner? Is it a pet? Is it something funny, a nickname? Is it something you stand by? We want to know, right? Because there's a reason why they do this, Gage. Or like, for me, it's never crossed my mind. Never.
Really?
Yeah. I've never thought, hey, should I get my nickname on my plate?
Yeah.
It's never crossed my mind.
It actually did once. And I was going to put, I'll put, goalie save or saving stuff or something stupid. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why would I put that on my plate?
Yeah.
But it was a young thing. But I see like older people doing this stuff, and it's names I don't get.
Gager's not positive. Gager has left 2025. We're back to things that bug us. Max Bezuzu says then you have Assman as a personalized plate, and you don't know if he's proctologist or Will Chamberlain?
Jesus. That was good. That was a Seinfeld, right? Episode where I think Kramer gets a proctologist plates.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
VR says they're called vanity plates for a reason.
Oh God, but it was just funny because I saw like 3 of them.
Yeah.
And every single guy, you put that on your car, but your windows are tinted so no one sees you. I don't understand that tinted window stuff either. But
Bobby LaFrench sent us a picture on the River Cree inbox. I can't say, it's just funny. Where are we going here? The best vanity plate I've seen was it said was his on Escalade.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting too old and too bothered by minute little things, but I don't get it, man. But I don't mind. And even the Oilers and Flames ones, like, don't you, when you see a Flames license plate, doesn't it anger you a little bit? Yeah.
Why are you here?
Why
No,
you?
just
Yeah. It's funny because, I mean, I have to go to Calgary sometimes and things like that. And I see Oiler plates down there. I'm thinking, is someone going to key my car? You know, if the Oilers beat you're setting yourself up for something to happen to your car in that case.
You're seeing them a lot on like nice cars.
Yeah.
Right? Like a convertible, for example. Barry says, if you're going to have a personalized plate, at least have it make sense. I see so many that make zero sense. Well, it might make sense to them. I mean, we don't know them. We don't know what the purpose of it is.
Yeah, but then even if it's like something obscure, are you sitting in your garage and looking at this thing going, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know? It makes no sense.
Let's see here. Well, I guess Gage hates me. Uncle Jesse says, daughter's name on mine, son's name on my wife. Both vehicles you can't see in the windows. Nice knowing you, Gage.
Yeah, you're dead to me.
See, but that's nice. You have the kids. I like it. I have an Oilers plate and tinted windows from Sean C. But do you have a name on it?
No, they don't have. I haven't seen do they make personalized ones like that? I haven't seen that.
I think they do.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Too early to be grumpy Gager, pal. Give it a few more years.
How old is he?
That's from Van Owen.
How old's Van Owen?
Van Owen goes way back, especially when we're talking auto sports. So I'd say 50s. 60s, 70s. I don't know.
Does he know how old I am?
You're young. You're spring chicken, man. You're a young man, Gager. But do you agree with Gager? Are you sick of these vanity plates?
I am sick of them.
You must see a lot then. I don't see as many.
Maybe it's just my area town. Everyone's just a jackass with these things. But I forget. I wish I should have. I was going to write it down too, but I didn't want to drive and write something because it was kind of funny, the plate. But then I got up next and I thought, oh, this guy made that looks cool or whatever. And yeah, he tinted out, couldn't see.
Coob, what would your plate name be?
Well, it wouldn't be Coob. Probably not. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't go the ass man route either. Like, there's nothing that really sticks out to me that I do. I've seen people put their last names on there, but at the same time, it's like, do I want random people knowing like, oh, okay, yeah, Kubish, Kubus,
Yeah.
that's awesome, yeah. If I'm doing something a little shady, maybe going 5 kilometers over the speed limit or something, that'll stand out like a sore thumb. I like the Oilers plates, though. I think they're cool. Trev has one.
Oh,
I think. And they're different numbers too. They start like DA, V,
but
whatever.
I'm fine with those.
Yeah, those are cool.
That's fine. Just I mean, Trev, I don't know if he's if he drives through Calgary, I'd go the long route when he goes home or whatever. But
I mean, maybe if we had an EST Cruiser, EST1, EST2, you know what I mean?
Like, how much would you hate me if I had Latino heat?
Well, you're conveying a different image.
I would be like, who's this jackass? That's what I'd say. Who calls himself? You know, when you talk about yourself in the third person, or you call yourself, yeah, hi, I'm the Latino Heat. Like,
Latino Heat is angry.
I mean, that's
right
kind
now.
of funny. I might just start calling you Latino Heat if you get it on your plate. Yeah, I'm okay because I know you.
I wonder how much it costs.
Yeah, what's the cost?
It's
for
a
those
few
things?
$100s,
Isn't it?
I know for like the Oilers plate, it's a bit, but then you got to go about, changing all your registration and stuff over. Like, say you had a car for a while, and it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna get big man on my Kia Forte. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some cars are, if it's like a Lamborghini or something, and you have a custom plate, you have the right to kind of have something crazy.
I'm sorry, you have a Lamborghini in Edmonton, you're screaming for attention as it is.
Yeah. You drive it for 10 days of the year.
Yeah. It's so funny.
It's like, okay, bro, you have money.
Yeah. Like, why that makes, and this is really because I was over in Europe for a long period of time, driving on the highways there and seeing what these cars should and could actually do. But how are you getting that thing out of third gear? You shouldn't be, or else you're speeding, first of all. And the roads here, I'm sorry, are terrible.
They're awful.
Every bump's like what? It's probably like $5,000 every bump you hit. I saw a real nice one. Like, it was like it looked like the Batmobile, but it was going down a road with potholes. You'd think this thing was going through a slalom course, trying not to hit these things. And I was just like, why? Go get my favorite car right now is the Toyota Land Cruiser. That thing is gorgeous. Go get one of those. Here, like, look at it outside. You drive your Lamborghini for what? Maybe a month? Because you got to wait 2 months for all those rocks to get off the road.
Yeah, having a really nice car here is not ideal. Winters, it's not. I'm being honest. You need a truck or an SUV to get around, and
well, I've seen those like expensive Cyber trucks, I guess, or those Lamborghini trucks or whatever. Like, because there's a lot of car dealerships around here, and then Tesla ones there, Jaguar, Mercedes,
don't get me started on those Cyber trucks.
It's all dirty too. Yeah. Like, if you have a nice car, you got to clean it too. And I've seen those Cyber trucks; they stick
look
out
awful.
Terribly,
especially right now with all the snow, they look terrible.
Yeah,
on
and they're
the
silver.
road.
I saw a red one actually, wrapped in red, and there's specifically one on the end of my
really?
town. Yeah, like South Side, I always see one whipping around at like Walmart too.
There's a black one somewhere over by, but I don't know if that's a wrap or not, because I was looking at things and the guy said the wraps they're not good because the stainless steel, to get it off, it's like a bad sticker on your car. It won't really ever come off. Yeah.
Some people sending in plates they've seen on the road. We appreciate that. Uncle Jesse just sent one in. Mike from Calgary says, my wife has a running joke for years with her group of friends, family, that she is a ninja. She bought a new black Jetta at one point, and yes, we tinted the windows. Her plate was Ninjetta. I also have an Oilers plate on my truck and tinted windows.
Jesus.
Shanzi says Oilers plates are $85. No, but to get like a personalized name, I think
personalized thing.
I think Hernan and Gager should get matching vanity plates. One says heat, the other says smoke from Big Dave. And then Pizza Boy says, what's wrong with the Kia Forte?
Nothing.
They're probably reliable. No, nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with them.
Oh, see, Vano and the Top Gear guys tried to kill a Toyota Land Cruiser early on in the series, but couldn't.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that right?
That's what you need here. You need a tank, man.
It's Modano's Teeth says you can't get a customized Oilers plate. I've tried already.
Well,
but I've seen them.
Have you? I don't think I've seen
like a custom text on it though, or just the plate, because the only ones that I've seen, it's just random.
What does it say on it? Just a number?
Don't read out his whole.
If you had a vanity plate, would it have the number 2 and then late on it?
Yeah,
baby. Yeah.
Jen says, "Can you put on this board, Coop?" Sorry,
This is like an anaconda taking down a pig.
Jen says, "I have an Oilers plate and it's random. You can't customize."
Okay, cool.
Oh, interesting.
Right. Again, I'm not upset at those because that's just a number. You got to know what you like your hockey team. I understand that, but when you put some stupid thing and too fast for you on there or something like that, and you get up with the tinted windows, it's ridiculous.
All right, we got to get out. First hour's wrapped up. Highlights, lowlights, red light district on vanity plates. Are you team vanity plate or are you with Gager? And you absolutely hate them. Coming up in the second hour, Brett Boyko from your Edmonton Elks and Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors. The trade deadline is done in the NBA. Raptors making a handful of moves. We'll get his thoughts on everything going around the league, everything going on around the league. And then the next segment, we'll talk some hockey, some Super Bowl, and whatever you guys want to talk about. Keep the messages coming into the River Korean box, 780-218-9999, and on the Nasty Chat. And hammer that thumbs up. Let's get to 100 here very quick. We're close to 60. Let's get to 80 by the time we return here. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino.
On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino.
Excitement, bet on it.
On the ice, Washington visits Philly. Canucks and Sharks drop the puck while the Lightning face the Senators, seeing 9 games around the NHL. And in football, Sean Lemon, former Alouette, has received a 2-game suspension from the CFL for using phentermine, a weight loss drug, for appetite suppression. Lemon is currently serving an indefinite suspension from the league after he was caught for betting on CFL games. And the Raptors have traded Davion Mitchell to Miami for a second rounder and some cash. And according to Sportsnet's Blake Murphy, the second rounder is a 2026 selection from the Lakers. Elsewhere, Shams Charania from ESPN is reporting that Atlanta's DeAndre Hunter is headed to Cleveland for Karis LeVert, George Niang, and 3 second rounders. And there's 6 games in basketball, including Golden State in LA to meet the Lakers, Orlando and Denver tipping off while the Mavs play the Celtics. And on the links, Corey Connors is 4 under through 18 in the first round, tied for 3rd place at the Phoenix Open. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoon starts right now.
Hour 2 here on EST Afternoons, live from the William Huff Studios in the west side of the city. That's a catchy little tune there. Good job, Coop. 780-218-9999. That is the River Cree inbox. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat as well. If you're watching us, there's 119-62, so we only need 38. If 38 of you hit that thumbs up right now, Hernan will shut up about it as we're getting close to 100. I just had the cheesiest cracker I've ever had, and it was delicious. Italian Center.
You got to, those are just the cheddar ones. You got to get the Parmesan one.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Because I bought some chips at the Italian Center, and they were it was a cheese flavor, but it was too cheesy, Gage. And I love cheese, but I couldn't even finish them.
Really?
Yeah. It was very strong taste, but those crackers, buddy, holy smokes, what a game changer! I'm gonna go buy a pack of that.
You should try those
with stuff on it, like
yeah,
like a
little. You can do tons of stuff with that, but I used to I loved this when I played in Italy.
Yeah.
I would just go get, because it was so cheap. Like I'd go get a big block of Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
Because you'd almost get a wheel for like €6, right?
Yeah.
And I'd go get a bottle of wine. And what's really funny is a lot of the Italian wines that you see in the liquor stores here.
Yeah.
They're like €2 there, but they're like $30 here, right? So I would get cheap wine, which is expensive here, and just eat wine and cheese.
So good.
I know.
So good. Super Bowl's coming up. Gager, on Sunday, we'll be down at Centric Casino, Fort Road. We haven't really talked about it, but we're going to go talk to Brett Boyko today about it. Tomorrow we have Lee Hacksaw Hamilton joining us
Nice.
to talk about this upcoming game. How much do you hate watch the halftime performance? Because I feel like a lot of people do. Like, I always appreciate whoever's performing, and I always like it because they put a lot of effort into it. It might not be my flavor of music. I'm a rap guy. I don't mind Kendrick Lamar, but are you at all excited to see this, or are you just kind of like,
The problem is I now start to see my age in the Super Bowl halftime show, because usually it's a more mature artist, I would say.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, like Paul McCartney would be on, and I'm like, why is Paul McCartney? Why don't they get someone good? But now, like when I see Usher and Snoop, I'm like
Weeknd.
I'm like, wow, the Weeknd's a little bit younger.
Weeknd's terrible.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, this is like Prince, and I'm like, all right, finally good music. It was like, so I kind of like the halftime show, I guess is what I'm saying now, because usually it's someone that I'm more familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of case. It reminds me, you were probably still with the Elks when they had, wasn't it like, I think it was like 90s house music or something like that, or whatever it was. It was a music themed night for an Elks game.
Probably 90s, maybe?
I think it was 90s.
Yeah.
And I was in there slinging dogs, and I'm like, damn, this is great. And I thought, holy smokes, who's spinning the records here? This is unbelievable. And then I go, and I said something to a young kid, and I go, this music's great. And he goes, yeah, that's because it's 90s night. And I'm like, oh.
80s, 90s is the best music. I don't care what anyone says. Do you have a favorite one? Because as a Latino, I really enjoyed Shakira and J-Lo. I thought they were fantastic. I know people are upset about their outfits, blah, 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 but they were great. There was a lot of pride in that one. I mean, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg was like, that gave me chills, man. Like, I had goosebumps. I go back to Prince. It started raining right before he started singing Purple Rain. Like, you couldn't have asked for a better script than that. But do you have a favorite?
What was the best one that I saw? I thought, I'm not just saying this, but I thought Katy Perry was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was unreal, right? That whole, and Dr. Dre and Snoop, that was sweet too.
Even Madonna, remember she came in?
Madonna
like she came in on a throne.
Yeah.
It was weird that she ended up singing with CeeLo, but
yeah. Who else did I mean, way back, Bruce Springsteen was okay.
Coldplay was good.
Well, Coldplay I thought they were great. Even wasn't it Adam Levine too at one point?
Yeah, he Maroon 5 with Travis Scott.
Yeah,
that wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad.
I just had another one. Which one? Who was it? Justin Timberlake.
Timberlake was good.
Good.
Yeah. But
good. And I get rap music is not for everyone. So I think there's going to be a lot of pushback on the X, because there always is. I'll be honest. I didn't like The Weeknd.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his music, but I didn't like his performance. He was the only one that didn't bring in another performer. He did
really?
it all by himself, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
And I think Weekend's coming to Edmonton.
He is, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many Weekend songs I actually know.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, who is the Weekend?
The Jonas
Who is
Brothers
this
at the
guy?
Grey Cup.
They were great.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, I know this
I know
song.
that song. Yeah, they had some bangers.
A great performance is a great performance. Alicia Cara proved that here at the 2018 Grey Cup. Good one. Lady Gaga puts on a good show. That's from Statue Boss. Bronco Nick. Michael Jackson was great too. We're going way back.
Yeah.
Spency 5 cents. He says Shakira was awesome. Mex Bezuzu. Where did he go? Where did you go?
Wasn't
there?
Timberlake with Janet Jackson? Or no, he did another one later on, but sans Janet Jackson.
Yeah. He came back after. But
I can't believe they. You remember that was the most watched. Yeah, that's like one of the most because PVRs were just coming out then, weren't they?
Around there, yeah.
It was kind of the most recorded and watched scene on TV, aside from the white Ford Bronco going down the I-5 or the 405.
So here, Rolling Stone has every halftime show ranked.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you the top 10. How about we do that and let's see if we agree with it. Because Rolling Stone has a good beat, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Prince, number 1. No denying that one.
Yeah, you can't.
U2, number 2.
Oh, I remember that wasn't too bad.
I'm not a big U2 guy.
I loved you.
Beyonce, number 3, 2013.
It was okay.
Number 4, Dre, Snoop, Eminem.
Yeah, that was great.
Number 5, Aerosmith with Britney Spears, NSYNC, Nelly, and Mary J.
That was pretty good too.
2001.
Yeah.
Man.
Wasn't that Tom Brady's first Super Bowl?
Might have been, yeah. I was a young man back then. Oh, the memories.
How old was I?
Number 6, Shakira and J-Lo. Yeah. Number 7, the one you wrote up, Bruce, the boss.
Yeah.
Number 8, Rihanna. Rihanna was good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she was way up in the air too. Jesus. She was pregnant.
Yeah, she was pregnant. Number 9, Madonna.
I get behind that.
Because she brought on those guys that did that famous song. That That's I can't. That's terrible rendition of what I was trying to say.
That's
there,
I got it.
The guys with the puffy hair and they do that dance.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, could you keep doing that? I didn't really get it.
Party
rockers in the house tonight.
Yeah.
LMFAO.
LMFAO. Gosh,
People knew what I was trying to say. And number 10, Lady Gaga.
I liked hers.
Yeah. People are laughing at us for singing there. Beyonce was great. It would have been better. Oh, never. Come on, Max. Already read a bad one.
Funny.
Jasmine says 10.5 over under for Kendrick songs. Ooh, that's a good question.
He has over 10 noticeable songs. So
Does he?
yeah, like well,
yeah, and
I don't even know
he
who
kind
he
of goes. He kind of goes quick, and I'm intrigued to see who he brings on because they always bring in on surprise artists, right?
Baby Keem.
I'm gonna say under. I think he's gonna be around that 6 to 8. Some of his old stuff, some of his new stuff.
Hasn't Eminem done a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he was there with Kendrick the last time. It was
Kendrick was with Dre and Snoop.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he did a little part. Yeah,
it was a bunch of them. There was like 5 or 6.
Eminem was there for that one.
Who?
I'm pretty sure.
Eminem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 50
Was he?
Cent.
Was he there?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Everyone.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think Kendrick does over 10.5 though. Like I would put my money on that because a lot of his songs and most recently, like this year, the big ones that he kind of won 5 Grammys for, all sound the same. Very similar beat. So you could probably hit 3 or 4 of them within the span of 45 seconds, right?
Wouldn't know the difference.
Yes. So we asked Max what was funny. He goes, I wasn't laughing. I was saying it was LMFAO.
I know.
Oh, that's funny. That's good.
Jasmine brings up a good one. Bruno Mars was good, man. That guy can put on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was funny. Kendrick will do 6 to 7 alone. Then SZA will be there for 3 to, I don't know what.
Hernan, it's SZA. They're on tour currently right now, the GNX tour.
I have no idea.
The Grand National tour.
I'm old. I'm still stuck. I'm still listening to 90s rap. So.
Yeah.
SZA's amazing. Should give her a listen.
And
you can actually sing.
Willie
Unlike Drake.
dissed Drake at the Super Bowl halftime.
Why would he do that?
I think he's
Because he did it on
in
his new album, right?
Oh, I know.
But that's different.
They had a beef, though, didn't they?
Yeah. Not as big of a beef as that 40-ounce steak that came in.
Hey,
Did you kind of cooked?
Oh, yeah. I sous vide'd the steak. It's quite marbled, that hunk of meat, right?
Is it sous vide or sous vide?
Sous vide, V-I-D.
Huh.
So yeah, I just I broke it down even further.
And Big Uke says, "Wow, Hernan." Well, I don't know who these new guys are. So, well, how do you say that? SZA. You know who's better? And I agree with Spency 5 Sensi. RZA from Wu-Tang.
Well, yeah.
I wonder if we should display our Spotify lists and see who we're listening to.
Mine would be all Dateline episodes. I don't really listen to music a lot. Yeah.
Oh, it shows. Doesn't show at all, actually.
But I do listen. Like mine would probably be a lot of some Spanish tunes, probably some old school hip hop, and then like I'm all over the place when it comes to music.
Yeah, me too. I noticed Darnell Nurse, he does the playlists for the warm up all the time, right?
Does he?
I think so, because when you go to a game, doesn't it show Darnell Nurse and then the tracks that are on the big screen?
Oh, I've never noticed that.
I notice that all the time. If you know, let me know. I think that's what happens.
Interesting.
That was a man for years in hockey dressing rooms. It's funny because obviously you get a lot of Canadians that are across the country, but you get some guys from the country that listen to country music.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I can't. There's one thing that I can't listen to, and I've tried is country.
Yeah,
and no disrespect.
No.
Like it.
I understand it's different now, and there's some tunes like I'll listen to. Like I don't hate it all, but it's a little bit different now. But when it would come on this is old school country that would be on, and guys would just sit back and go, yeah, that's the stuff.
That's the stuff.
It's just like what.
So with the Elks, it's a lot of rap in the dressing room. It's a lot of hip hop, right? A lot of the newer stuff. But on Wednesdays, it's White Boy Wednesday. No, it's a known thing. So I practice because you have music playing during practice, and then in the dressing room, so it's all country or whatever it is, country music, rock and roll. Yeah. So it's
you should probably do it on a Tuesday when you're doing like battle drills and stuff. Get everyone riled up.
And this goes back to even before I was with the Elks.
Oh, yeah.
Wednesdays were always they got to take over. So it was funny. It was some country tunes, a lot of country music. All right, and we'll ask Brett Boyko about this. He's coming up next from the Edmonton Elks. Just re-signed with the team last week, and he'll be back for I think is his third season. With the green and gold. Brett Boyko coming up next here on EST Afternoons. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. We're back after the break here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. Here's Coop with your sports update.
There's 9 games in the NHL with Seattle hosting Toronto Devils and Golden Knights dropping the puck while Carolina plays Minnesota. Meanwhile, defensive lineman Sean Lemon has been suspended 2 games by the CFL for violating the league's drug policy, which marks the second punishment he's received by the league, with Lemon currently serving an indefinite suspension for betting on CFL games. And in the NBA, Toronto's Davian Mitchell has been traded to the Heat in exchange for PJ Tucker and a second-round pick. And Shams Charania from ESPN is reporting that the Hawks are trading DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs for Karis LeVert, George Niang, and 3 second-rounders. And on the court, Dallas tips off against Boston, the Magic and Nuggets throw down while the Warriors challenge the Lakers. And at the Phoenix Open, Canadian Corey Connors is tied at 3rd place in round 1, just a stroke back of top spot through 18 holes. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding area since 93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Brett Boyko from the Elks joins EST Afternoons on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for two at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
.225, welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Getting closer to the big game on Sunday. Reminder, EST crew will be down at the Century Casino on Fort Road. $10 menu, tons of prizes to give away, and just an overall a good time. Keep hitting us up on the River Korean box, 780-218-9999, or on the Nasty Chat. A lot of talk about halftime shows and getting chirped for not knowing who SZA was, Gager. And we'll get to your messages here as we roll on. But right now we're going to bring in offensive lineman from the Green and Gold, Brett Boyko, fresh off signing a 2-year deal with the team. Brett, my guy, how you doing?
Hernan, what's going on, brother? How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good. So you rejoined the Green and Gold on a 2-year deal. You've probably seen everything going on with the Elks. Nothing can be official until next week. But how excited are you with the new regime there in Edmonton, with the Edmonton Elks? Sorry.
I'm really excited. I mean, we got a ton of hype going on right now. Like you said, nothing is set in stone yet, but there's obviously been some reports, and it sounds like we're gearing up for a run, and that's kind of all we hope for in this city.
Brett, when you see what's happening with the Elks, and congratulations again on signing and re-upping, what gives you the most optimism going into this season that, after the last few haven't been gone that well for the Elks?
Yeah, I think honestly for me, it's just, I think it's not, when you look at a new staff coming in and stuff like that, new coaching staff, GM, president, I mean, it's a whole revamp, right? New owner, everything. So when that happens, sometimes you kind of get in that rebuild mode. And although, the Elks and we haven't won, we've been competitive and we've had opportunities to win games. And so I think the scary thing about going into an off season with a new staff is all of a sudden now you're revamping everything, and are you going to be a bottom tier trying to work your way up? And I think what we're seeing right now is that's not happening. I think we've done a good job of keeping some key pieces. And, obviously, we have our quarterback of the future in Trey. And I think we're, the Ed and the staff is doing a tremendous job of getting key components to really make us competitive. And I think when there is that change, like I said, it's great to see, because that's what we want. We don't want a setback. We want to propel ourselves forward. And I think, what we're seeing and what the reports are showing is that's what we're doing.
Brett, we were talking about music in dressing rooms within teams. Joaquin played pro hockey in the NHL and in Europe. I was with you guys with the Elks. What's your kind of go-to music there in the dressing room, or even before you're getting ready for a game?
Yeah, they don't let me on the speaker. I'll put it that way. Everyone's, I don't even know some of these new age, I can't even, I guess, Hernan, I guess I'm an old guy, considered an old guy in the locker room. So for me, I like country music. I like just getting in my own vibe and just kind of, enjoying it that way. I'm a big Nickelback guy. So if I want to get hyped up, maybe I'll throw on some Nickelback, but that, the other guys handle some of the music. So I just kind of stay in my lane, but I got enough going on, going into a game that a lot of times I just listen to the voice in my head and get prepared for the game that way. So I don't need all the music, but Brett, they leave me out of it.
Yeah, I was never allowed to touch the music either, Brett. That's okay. You mentioned how you don't want to start from scratch this year, right? You've as a team, with the personnel that's coming back and some familiarity there are stepping stones. I'm interested to hear, how do you bridge that gap between the new people coming in, and I mean, their vision is obviously getting to a Grey Cup and winning, but how do you bridge that between the coaching staff and the players that say, hey, we're not starting from scratch. We've already built a really good foundation here. We can really take a run at this thing.
Well, I think, like it said, when you're bringing in all those pieces, you kind of get the feel from the outside. It's like, okay, we're seeing this, we're seeing these signings, we're seeing these big name guys coming to the club. Like, automatically that helps you. Mm-hmm. When you look at the structure of our team, some of the things we did well, now we're complementing that in other areas, which should only propel us forward. Now, once again, it doesn't start till May, and we're going to get, familiarized with each other and see exactly what the plan is. But I think we got a lot of leadership in play. I think we got we have support here. We have support. Everyone's bought in. I really do believe that everyone's kind of bought in, and we're trying to make a run at this thing, and that's kind of all you can ask for. And it'll be up to the leadership and obviously the coaching staff and the game plans and everything like that. But right now it's all talk and it's all exciting, and it looks like we're going to be competitive, and it looks like we're going to have a really good team, but it's going to be up to us to showcase that. And I firmly believe that we got the right guys to do it.
Brett Boyko from the Edmonton Elks joining us here on EST Afternoons. Brett, you spent some time in the NFL with the Eagles and Chargers. Big game this Sunday. Are you kind of with Joaquin and I, where we're just kind of we got Chiefs fatigue here and we just want to see someone else win? What are your thoughts going into this game on Sunday?
Yeah, honestly, I get it. I do. I mean, I feel like, you can't hate the team. Like, they're good. It's one of those things, right? It's like you want to hate them, but they're good. They found ways to get the job done. And obviously they have a stud at quarterback. I'm rooting for the Eagles. The Eagles gave me my first shot in the NFL. And there's, surprisingly still some pieces of that team that I was fortunate to play with. Lane Johnson's still there. And Jeff Stoutland was my coach, my O-line coach while I was there. So the Eagles got my support, obviously. I have friendships within the organization and things like that. So I always support them, and I hope they get it done for the fans in Philly, because those fans are something else.
Brett, Super Bowl Sunday, are you staying at home? Are you going out? If you're staying at home, what's on the coffee table for munchies while watching the game? Or are you going out somewhere to have something special to watch?
Here's the thing, and this is, I always give, I always bug people. I always get on people about this, because I'll watch games, through the whole season. Sunday's kind of the football day, right? And then you watch the playoff games, and then everyone all of a sudden on Super Bowl Sunday, everyone's like, oh, let's get together. Let's, and I'm the guy who I'm like, I like enjoying the game. I want to watch the game. I want to listen to the broadcast. I mean, I like being in tune to the game. I'm not trying to hang out with you and talk. I'm trying to watch the game. So I'm a little maybe weird in that aspect, but I find it funny that I go the whole season kind of watching the game by myself or maybe with one or two buddies, and then Super Bowl Sunday comes around and everyone wants to, have a party and not even watch the game. So obviously for me now, I got 2 kids, so things are different. I'll probably try and get them in the bed routine, maybe pause the game halfway through and kind of come back to it once they're sleeping. But in terms of appetizers, I'm a big deviled egg guy.
Ooh.
Love deviled eggs, chicken wings, chips, nachos. I've never had, an appetizer, a game day appetizer that I hate. So I'm an offensive lineman. I'm pretty easy.
So you're not coming to hang out with us on Sundays, is what you're trying to tell us right now, eh?
No, I guess, maybe if I got the invite, I don't know. Hernan's my guy, so I can always pull some strings that way.
Yeah. Don't worry, he didn't even invite me, man. I work with the guy.
No. Brett, just some fun questions here. I know a lot of the guys you play with on the O-line. David Foucault, I don't think he's returning, but was he the funniest guy in your unit? Because, man, like the conversations I had with Big Dave Foucault, I always left howling because he's low-key funny.
David Foucault is the funniest guy I've ever played with. It's and maybe it's the French accent, and sometimes there's the English language barrier a little bit, but that guy doesn't even try to be funny, and he's just hilarious. And I hope he comes back. Obviously, you never know, but he was a guy who definitely made going to work fun every day, and he's by far the funniest guy. For him to be older than me, he's a kid at heart, and it's hilarious to be around.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I wish him all the best. But you got a lot of your guys back. I mean, Cordy, Tomas, Martez is back as well, and David Beard. It's being reported he'll make his return, so you guys have a solid group there. Brett, thank you so much for taking the time. I'll probably be seeing you soon, and enjoy the game Sunday, and we'll see you at training camp as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Let's do it again. Go Birds and go Elks, and we should do this again sometime. It was a blast. Thanks for now.
For sure. That's Brett Boyko from the Edmonton Elks. Good guy. Good dude. Spent a lot of time with him because we got him a lot to do community stuff, and we always had good conversations. I know I've met his wife and his kids, and he's just overall great. He's always like, Hernan, you don't work for the Elks. Let's go for a beer. I'm like, let's do it.
He makes a great point, right? You sit there and you watch football by yourself, all ensconced in the game, and then the biggest game of the year, you get all this other stuff going on, and you probably don't even watch it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But you know what's interesting? Because last year I was going to meet up with the guys, but it was my team in the finals, and like when it's my team, I want to be at home.
Oh, did you stay home?
Yeah, because I want to, like you said, I want to hear the game. I want to scream and celebrate and all that.
Oh, you want to celebrate? Oh, wow. I thought you were just.
But like this Sunday, I really don't care, to be honest.
You're Connor McDavid scoring a goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Connor McDavid. Huss is Hyman trying to get me to hug him. I'm like, nope. Let's see here. Damn. And Elks players think we'll ever get Evander Kane, Derek Ryan, or Noah Philp like on the show?
Yeah.
Hey, that's not an us problem. So we'll leave it at that.
I don't even ask.
Yeah.
Do you ask? I don't even ask.
No. What's the point?
They won't come on? Evander would come on, wouldn't he?
Probably have to reach him out privately, but that's probably frowned upon. There's protocol. There's, I guess, unwritten rules on how to go about asking for players. And as a guy who worked in that role, you got to go through the team, which is the correct way to do it. But yeah, they're just not made available a lot. So, I mean, we'd love to have more Oilers on this. I think on the whole station as a whole, Gage.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think there's more access to players in other big professional sports? Or does it depend? Because I find
that's a good question.
I find, and I don't even know if it's hockey related, because obviously here the big dogs are the Oilers, right? We can all agree on that. But if you go to, if you're down in Florida, right, and you want one of the Florida Panthers, and the team is Yeah, sure. We want to get our names out there as much as possible. Do you think it would be easier to grab? And I'm not saying grabbing Barkov or Kachuk, but just, bad thing to say, but maybe someone lower down in the lineup. Would they be more readily available, you think, in a smaller hockey market than a larger one?
There might be, but like as you know, we're scrolling Twitter constantly. We're on different sports sites. You don't see a lot around the league where out of the big networks that get players for interviews, like NBA, NFL. It's tough. Which baseball, you rarely see a baseball guy doing a radio hit.
Yeah,
it's very rare. I remember back at 1260, I booked a pitcher from the Blue Jays, but it was 2 months that it took to get him. Like I put in the request 2 months later, like, yeah, he can do it.
Really?
So it was quite a process. So, I mean, of course and listen, I love having Edmonton Elks, and I'm telling you right now, you get ready because next week we'll probably have one on every day with the amount of players they're signing. Yeah. So, and there's really, the Oilers are off. I mean, we'll still talk Oilers, and the Edmonton Elks are a great professional team. They're a great organization, and listen, if we can have Elks players on, I'm never going to say no, and I'm always going to request them, and they're great. And will we love to have Oilers on? Of course we would, but it's not as easy with NHL teams. So that's just the reality of the situation. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Forget the roses. This Valentine's Day, grab your date for a surf and turf at the Canadian Brew House. 7-ounce sirloin, blackened shrimp, wine, and the fixings. Just $69.99 for two. Details at the CanadianBrewHouse.com. Up next, we'll be joined by Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors. Talk some Raps trades and look around the NBA. We are Association City Gager, so we'll have some fun with that. Sean Woodley on the other side of the break, and we'll continue with your messages on the Nasty Chat and the River Cree inbox. 780-218-9999. Here is Coob with your sports update.
The Panthers and Blues hit the icy Avs, take on the Flames while the hockey club play the Blue Jackets on a 9-game NHL slate. And according to TSN's Farhan Lalji, the Elks have agreed to terms with a couple former Stampeders with punter Cody Grace and wide receiver Tyson Middlemost. And the CFL has dropped the hammer on former Alouette Sean Lemon, suspending him for 2 games after he violated the league's drug policy, with Lemon currently serving an indefinite suspension for betting on CFL games. And if reinstated, he'll have the option to sign with any team. Meanwhile, basketball sees the Raptors making a move as they've acquired Miami's PJ Tucker, a second-rounder, and some cash in exchange for Davian Mitchell. And Shams Charania from ESPN is reporting that the Hawks are trading DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs for Karis LeVert, George Niang, and 3 second-rounders. In 6 games, the NBA slate tonight with the Kings and Trailblazers going at it. Houston on the road in Minnesota, while the Pacers battle the Clippers. Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors joins us next to talk some NBA. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino.
On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino.
Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
2:42, last segment here on EST Afternoons on this Thursday. It's a little bit nicer out there, not minus 30 anymore, but still a bit chilly. Brett Boyko just joined us. Great conversation. Great guy, offensive lineman for the Edmonton Elks. But we're going to switch gears, talk some association, as we are known as Association City.
Are we?
Yeah. I know Jasmine's pretty stoked that we're going to talk some NBA. But to do all that, talk some Raptors and NBA trade deadline, is Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors. My former boss, Gager, and I did Locked On Oilers. So don't ask him anything about me. He probably had a lot of complaints. But Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys. It's great to be on.
Yeah, it's great. So let's get to the Raptors first here. Late last night, Brandon Ingram, traded for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and a first-round pick and a second-round pick. And I guess I saw a lot of Raptors media and fans alike kind of confused with this move because they're in a rebuild. And can you make sense of getting Brandon Ingram when they are at the beginning stages of a rebuild, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think this rebuild, quote unquote, was ever going to be your classic rebuild, right?
Okay.
Like, it was too far along for it to be that, with Scotty Barnes being on a max deal next year, Emmanuel quickly being paid, RJ Barrett being paid, like it or not. And maybe the Raptors made their bed and kind of, put themselves in this weird situation by waiting too long to trade Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby. But like, this was never going to be a 3, 4, 5 year dip into the lottery and hope to get some stars in the draft. This was going to be something where they had to kind of go on the fly here. And I do think, the way this is set up now with Ingram in particular and his situation health-wise, like, this can be a situation where they kind of get the best of both worlds, where they're going to be in position for a high pick. I don't think we're going to see a ton of Ingram down the stretch. He's still out. He's been out since early December with an ankle injury. Maybe we see him for 10, 15 games. If we do see him for 10, 15 games, I think we're going to see a lot of other guys not playing in those games. It's going to be a lot of rookies down the stretch, a lot of Jacoby Walter, a lot of Jamal Shedd, a lot of Jonathan Mobo. Rookies lose games. And I think with where they're at now at 16 and 35, it's going to be really hard for them to be anything lower than like 7th in the lottery odds, which is great. You can move up from there. If you pick 7th or 8th, that's great. Like, you can add a cheap, hopefully good young contributor to this team, while also adding a guy in Brandon Ingram who's an all-star talent, right? Like, you get a guy who's made an all-star game, who instantly becomes the best shot creator on this team, and it costs you not a whole lot. Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, they weren't part of the future. And then that first-round pick, I know everyone's like, how do you trade a first-round pick when you're rebuilding? Oh, my God. It's going to be the Pacers pick next year. The Pacers are good. Like, the 22nd pick in next year's draft, I would much rather have Brandon Ingram in a vacuum than that. And so I get the logic entirely here. My concern with it is with the fit and with the potential contract they're going to give to Brandon Ingram. Like, my opinion of this trade very much hinges upon what does Brandon Ingram make on his next deal. We'll see what happens there. But as far as explaining this in terms of, the rebuilding, but why did they make this trade? This is the Raptors sticking to their plan, which has been the plan for the last 12, 10 years, whatever Masai's been around. It's be opportunistic and find talent where you can. And the opportunity presented itself to get an all-star level player in the door, get his bird rights before the summer, the chance to re-sign him, and all it cost you was a couple of guys who are not part of the future and a not very good first-round pick. So, yeah, I get it from that perspective for sure. The logic makes perfect sense to me.
Sean, just looking at, the NBA puts the NHL to shame when it comes to trades and the amount of player movement and things like that. But, only one team usually gets it right. In your mind, who's the winner so far of trade deadline, and who has strengthened themselves to really take a run at this thing?
I mean, as far as this season goes, I mean, the Cavs made a nice move today getting DeAndre Hunter, but I do think most of the best teams didn't really have to do a whole lot to bolster themselves. The team that won the deadline is, of course, the Lakers, because they're the beneficiaries of the most insane trade a GM has ever woken up and decided to make. You get Luka Doncic at 25. He's going to be a perennial MVP candidate. I'm not worried about the out of shape stuff. He's been out of shape his entire career. He's made 5 first-team All-NBAs and dragged a bunch of humps to the NBA Finals and the conference finals. Like, he's going to be just fine. They get Mark Williams too in that trade with the Hornets, and Williams has some injury history of his own. We'll see if he can kind of stay on the floor. But I mean, Luka Doncic is like made in a lab to make Mark Williams awesome, and Mark Williams is made in a lab to catch lobs from Luka Doncic for the next 10 years. And so, yeah, like, the Lakers are the clear winners. It's a bummer, but hey, sometimes Nico Harrison, sometimes your GM just wakes up and goes rogue and loses his mind. I don't know if there's conspiracy theories behind it. Everyone can kind of dabble in that. I kind of just think the GM woke up and said, let's do something dumb today, and did something dumb. And the Lakers are the winners of the deadline as a result.
Sean, I think everybody's going to remember it because we were talking about biggest trade in North America, and we were going as far back as the Gretzky being sold, and like this was enormous. You remember what you were doing when you found out? Because I think we were all on Twitter on Saturday night, and then when we saw the Shams tweet, I think a lot of people thought it was fake. You got hacked.
Yeah. I didn't see the tweet. I saw the push notification. So when I saw the push notification from like the Score or whatever it was, I was like, okay, this doesn't compute in my brain, but it's from the Score, and so it feels legit. So I need to take a beat and look at this. And yeah, it was right like heading to bed as it happened, and I was like, this is too much for right before bed. I need to just go to bed, figure it out in the morning, and react then. But yeah, it made less sense even waking up after a night sleeping on it. It's crazy. It's like one of the most short-sighted, baffling, like frankly, like almost aspirational trade in that, wow, if a dum-dum like that can run an NBA team, I can do anything type of things. Like it's totally off the wall. But yeah, that's where I was heading to bed and very confused as I was doing so.
Sean, Jimmy Butler gets moved as well, suspended from the Heat, the whole contract stuff. He goes to the Golden State Warriors, a nice little package going back there to the Heat, the multiple teams involved. But what do you make of Jimmy Butler there with Draymond Green, which is going to be fascinating to watch, and Steph Curry?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to watch it. I feel like there's going to be this yin and yang of like Jimmy and Draymond, maybe butt heads, but also Steph is there to kind of ease everything off. Like, it's going to be a strange thing. I don't think they're necessarily contenders. I think they're pretty good. And honestly, like, I respect the Warriors for doing everything they can to milk every last ounce of what they can out of the Steph Curry era. You get one Steph Curry one time. If Nico Harrison were the GM, he would have traded Steph Curry 10 years ago, apparently. But, you get yourself a Steph Curry, you do what you can for as long as you can to build a team around him. And, maybe it doesn't lead to anything, but you gave it your best shot. And look, Jimmy Butler, it's hard to decipher what he is as a player right now, because I don't know. I have a hunch he hasn't really been giving it his all this year in Miami, whilst openly feuding with Pat Riley and kind of loafing it. He's probably better than the player we've seen. And I mean, the guy is like one of the single best playoff risers we've ever seen. They could do stuff like they could totally win a series or two in the playoffs. I don't think they're beating the Thunder. I don't think they're beating, even the Nuggets in a playoff series with Jokic, who's just this sort of ace in the hole against pretty much anybody. But yeah, like I respect what they've done, while also thinking the Heat did a really good job in salvaging this and getting something out of it. I think Andrew Wiggins is going to be awesome on that team. They're not any sort of contender necessarily out in the East, but the Heat are just trying to stay relevant and be good and kind of wait for the next chance to strike. I think they've accomplished that with this. And yeah, it seems like a deal that works for both sides, as much as the potential for gigantic flare-ups, Jordan Poole style in Golden State certainly is there when you got Draymond and Jimmy Butler and those personalities in the same room.
Why? I don't get why they have the trade deadline when teams are still playing, though. Is there any chance that they can stop doing this so teams like – I know I read like Steve Kerr thinks this is ridiculous just to avoid teams being shorthanded, but maybe it's the drama of possibly getting a guy from the other side in the other room to come into their – why does the NBA do this?
I mean, the deadline's 3:00. Like, I think most of the time you see deals happen during the day. The fact that everyone got like a jump on this ahead of time is kind of rare. It usually doesn't happen where the night before the deadline, everything goes down. Yeah, it's a strange one for sure, but this is just, what are you going to do? Take a week off before the deadline? I don't really see that being a thing. They used to kind of have the deadline where it would be after All-Star. It would be like the Thursday after All-Star or something like that. Like, that maybe makes some sense too, but I don't know. That's what the money's for. Like, you make a lot of money. Sometimes you might get traded at a weird time, and you just kind of got to deal with it. It sucks for teams to not have their full complement of guys for a game or two, but it all kind of irons out. You got your guys back, and you get rolling after the deadline. I don't think it's that big a deal, but if the players and coaches make a big enough stink about it, I'm sure Adam Silver will bend to their will and do something to fix it.
Sean, last one for you. The Raptors also had PJ Tucker and an injured James Wiseman in another trade with the Pacers. But I guess the big one here is Chris Boucher stays with the Toronto Raptors, a name that was being rumored to be on the move. Do you like that they kept him here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they kept him because they necessarily wanted to. Like, I think if there was a deal out there for him, they would have made one. I think things got really difficult when they made the Brandon Ingram trade, though, because with Ingram, they're going to have to pay him this summer, and there's like a very thin margin they'll be able to pay him and stay under the luxury tax for next year. And, you might say, oh, stay under the luxury tax, are they being cheap? No, like in the NBA, being over the tax is like punitive, and there's disadvantages to it, especially if you're not like a real dyed-in-the-wool contender. And so I do think, with this being a situation where you couldn't send Chris Boucher out back and get back money for next year, for example, right? Like before the Ingram trade, I think that's what they were going to try to do, was sell off their veterans and bring back guys who have money into next year and kind of do the whole sell the veterans at next year's deadline thing all over again. But they saw the opportunity for Ingram, and now their books for next year are very much spoken for. We'll see what happens with Boucher. Like, maybe they bring him back on like a minimum deal. He's been, I think quite overpaid the last couple seasons. Maybe he's all right to make a couple $1 million to be one of the last guys on the bench for a couple more years if there's not another deal out there for him. But yeah, him not getting traded, I think, is more a function of the Ingram trade and just the lack of options out there. For example, like the Nuggets would have been a really nice Chris Boucher team, but the second the Ingram trade happened, there was no taking back Zeke Naji or Dario Saric to make the money work. And so you kind of just, that option falls off the board. And in this NBA, where you got match salaries and there's aprons and there's all these restrictions and stuff, one team falls off the board. That might be the only option you had. And all of a sudden you're sitting there holding Chris Boucher after the deadline, and he survives yet another year in Toronto, which, hey, like, nothing wrong with that. We love Chris Boucher. He's fun. He's good for pops of 20 points in a quarter. Does he have a long-term place on this team? Probably not. But if he wants to be around as a minimum, as the new Canadian Udonis Haslem, there's going to be a job for him there if he really wants it, I think.
Sean, great stuff. Great breakdown. And thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the NBA season and well into the playoffs. And I'm sure we'll chat soon.
Yeah, anytime, guys. Cheers.
That's Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors. Does a great job covering the Raptors. That's a great podcast if you want to get your Raptors fix in. Yeah. Not the best of seasons, but it was expected, right? In this kind of semi-rebuild that they're going through. But Brandon Ingram's a good player. I've enjoyed watching him. I think it's an interesting get for them, and hopefully we can see him in some action later this season. Gager, it's been a fun show. What do you got going on this evening?
Daughter to dance and probably just work into the evening, buddy.
Just chill, eh?
Yeah. Well, not chill. So.
No, but tomorrow we're going to have some fun. We're going to have Lee Hacksaw. He's an absolute beauty. Talk some Super Bowl. And one of the funnest new segments, Zach to the Future returns. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's
I'm not
go.
ready.
I'm going to prep it all tonight. Probably make things a little bit tougher because he passed last week, and that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm like very scared because I was really tough on you guys during heat and smoke.
Yeah,
I brought the heat and the smoke.
I
brought it all.
You gotta keep doing it. The River Cree Inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5. Oilers back in action tomorrow. We'll tee it up in the first hour. We'll also tee up the Super Bowl as well, and all the breaking sports news from around, I'm going to say the world, not just North America. Here.
Maybe a little cricket.
A little cricket here on EST Afternoon. Stick around for Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne. They're coming up, and they'll take you home right up until 6. Thanks for tuning in. Download the show. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. We'll chat tomorrow on Oilers Game Day. Ciao.